Structure of DNA. So DNA is the molecule that all of our genetic material is made of, and the genome is the recipe, or the set of instructions for making an organism. This analogy is apt because if we are making a cake following a recipe, you can't easily map one single crumb back to a few lines of the recipe. Similarly, you can't map an entity like a skin cell back to one part of the genome. Instead, the genome holds instructions for it throughout the entire genome. Also, going back to the cake analogy, a discrete change in the recipe can affect the cake as a whole. For example, if you were to use yeast instead of baking powder, it makes the whole cake taste more like bread. And if you change part of the genome, it can affect all of the cells in the body. Another remarkable thing about the genome is that the entire recipe is made up of 4 different units, often noted in letter form as A, T, C, and G. These stand for the 4 nucleotides: adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. They have slightly different biochemical structures. Adenine and guanine are called purines, and they have a 2-ring structure. And thymine and cytosine are pyrimidines, and they have a 1-ring structure. We generally write them and refer to them as A, T, C, and G, and it's good to know that A and G are similar and bigger, and the C and T are similar and smaller. DNA is then constructed in a very specific way, where A's always bind to T's and G's always bind to C's. This is true across all living things, and this nifty rule means that if we have one strand of DNA, we already know the code for the other strand. So here we have C, C, A, T, T, and then the other strand would be G, G, T, A, A. As I said, we usually write the code using letters, but there's also a direction associated with writing out code, and this is associated with the biochemical properties, and it means that there's a 5' end and a 3' end, and we always write the first strand in the direction of the 5' to the 3', and then the second strand in the direction of the 3' to 5'. This will come up again when we talk about DNA replication.